Big Mouth Crafters on Facebook and ostitch.com. Today I'm going to show you how to make these miniature size wedding dress forms. Here are the supplies you'll need. Glue sticks, a glue gun, craft glue, a strand of pearls, a 2 by 3 inch chipboard, a pair of scissors, some ribbon, and a cutting system. The cutting system that I'm using is the Big Kick by Sizzix, and I'm also using the die cut by Holtz called Sewing Room. Take a closer look at these dress forms. They're all different, but the same size. Today we're going to be making a simple one, similar to this one. It's a strapless dress with a faux pearl belt and pearl embellishments as the trim. Make sure that you have your cutting boards handy with your cutting system if you're using something like a Cricut or a Sizzix cut. These are pretty sturdy. Mine are worn, but these are the ones that we're using today. Let's get started. Since we're using a 2 by 3 inch chipboard, you should know that we're not cutting out the entire form of the dress form. And I figured that we shouldn't waste the paper, being that we're only using the top part of the dress form. This is the die cut, and the blades are embedded inside of this foam. Those of you who are familiar with the system know already the process, but those of you who are not, one cutting board sits on the bed of the cutting system, which is the Big Kick. Then I'm going to place the 2 by 3 chipboard just over the part of the dress form that I'm going to use. So all these other things that they have here, I'm not going to cover that because we're not going to use that, and I didn't want to waste paper. This is going face down. The awesome thing about this cutting system is that it cuts either face up or face down. But today I'm going to do it face down. And then the second cutting board fits on top, almost like a sandwich. So the first layer you got your cutting board, second layer you got your die cut with your paper, and the third layer you got your other cutting board. And then you just roll the wheel, and this slides right through, cutting out the top part of our dress form. When it's pulled apart, this is what we have here. Before we get started, I wanted to just let you take a closer look on exactly what we're doing here. We're making these wedding dress forms from a half cut of a dress form from the Holtz Sewing Room die cut. If you've watched another video of mine, which was the explosion box, you would have saw that another dress form was used. This wedding invitation was made almost a year ago, and that was before we actually purchased the Sewing Room die cut from the Holtz collection, as well as the Sizzix Big Cut. So instead of buying these little miniature size dress forms, we can now make our own. And we can use any fabric that we would like, and we can actually develop little styles of our own as well. Start out by choosing a piece of fabric. The fabric that I've used was a solid satin before. Now I'm going to use a fabric that has a little texturized and slightly embroidered pattern on it. I'm going just to trim it just for a neater edge, because these have a bunch of raw edges, being that this was a piece of remnant fabric from Hobby Lobby. See how that has a nice clean edge? Now I'm going to do the bottom. This will help when we add the strand of pearls and when we tuck and fold the dress onto the dress form later on. The fabric that I'm using today measures 9 inches across and 4.5 inches high. You can use whatever size that you would like, but today I'm going to make the dress so it appears to have folds. So that's why I used one this long. Turn it on the reverse side and add glue at the top, maybe a 1/2 inch down, about 2 inches wide. You're going to take your glue gun add the glue, and then fold this part onto the glue. You see how it created an automatic hem? Well, that's going to be the top part of your dress. Okay, so now that we've created the bust line area, we're going to take glue and just put it across here. You can actually put it in a curve or straight across. You need to determine the kind of style that you want the top of your dress to have. I'm just going to create a straight, clean line across, simply by just putting the glue straight across, a little bit below the shoulder area. Then I'm going to take my fabric where I created my clean hem line and put it on top there. Put it down and allow it to dry. After it's dried, lift it up just a little, and you're going to add glue to the waistline, not across, because I don't want this to appear hard and stiff. I want it to flow and lay nicely, but I want it to be snug. So just on this area here. Can you see that? It's not in the middle there. And then I'm going to take the fabric, bring it down, and just kind of squeeze it just to give the waistline some form. Put it down and allow it to dry. waistline have dried, you should be able to start to see some kind of form of your wedding dress. Turn it on the reverse side. And because we have that clean line hem for the bust line that extends, it's actually going to make it easier just to kind of fold it and have that clean line continue on the reverse side where the back area is. So what I'm going to do is just put some glue just across the back line of this dress. I'm going to bring it down a little low. See that little curve area? Just as if it was a real wedding dress, I'm giving it some definition and design. Then I'm going to take my dress fold, some webs there, holding it a little bit until it dries in place. And then I'll put it down on the side and allow it to completely dry. Now that it's dried, we're going to start making those folds as if it was a train for her wedding dress. So I'm going to put glue inside of here and then hold the ruffles and folds together in order to create that look. Make sure that you are careful and you don't burn your fingers. You don't have to put an excessive glue because it is small fabric and it will hold. So I'm going to turn this over just so I know that it's forming correctly and starting the look that I want it to have. Going to add a little bit of glue to the side here. Place it down and allow it to dry. Now that it's dried in the front and in the back, I'm going to add a string of glue here and place the faux pearls on top and bring it around. First, I'm going to cut the pearls. I don't cut them all together. I just like to kind of place it here, measure it a little bit before I do an initial cut. Next, put your glue on. I just add a little in the front so it doesn't see through too much. And then in the back. Take one side and put it over and then cut the excess off. And allow that to dry. So I've already trimmed the bottom of the dress, and what I'm going to do now is simply add glue all the way around, just as I did here, and add the pearls for the embellishments. I'm going to put a bead of glue here as well and bring the pearls all the way around as if it's wrapping around. So I've added a bead of glue all the way around and then applied the pearls. After it's dry, we're going to go in and just cut off those raw edges. just so it gives it a clean, lined look. Next, cut a piece of ribbon about 4 inches long, fold it in half, and then cut 2 pieces. Add a drop of glue on the reverse side of your dress form. Add your 2 pieces of ribbon. Add another drop of glue and add your floral embellishment. And if you wanted to add it to the front as well, you can do so. And here's your dress form. Well, that's all for today. You can actually use these miniature size wedding dress forms for scrapbooking, making cards, anything that you can possibly think of. We use them for explosion boxes, but these are absolutely adorable, and you can make notepads and miniature size paper clips and pen toppers, and there's just so many things that you can do with this dress form. Well, that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching.